Okay, so I'm gonna make another quick video take three. We'll see if we don't get to a take four. Gosh darn it. So, um, my church has done a few things that they're not supposed to be doing.
What's he talking about?
Well, they have secret handshakes, and President Nielsen, they went to the colors.
Yeah, they went to the colors.
Yeah, President Nielsen.
Said, hey, Mormon boys can wear on a mission can wear blue shirts, white blue.
You, you weren't supposed to do that. Shoot, man. Shoot. And Nelson's done a lot of other garbage things. First of all, he's practicing polygamy.
He's not practicing polygamy.
Yes, he is. He married. He married a Wendy Watson, which is the amazing daughter of God. But hey, guess what? If you're truly staying true to, hey, we are eternal, and my church is supposed to talk about eternal covenants and marriages, and well, if you practice eternal principles, you don't get married after your spouse dies. You well, this is such a short period of time in this life that what you do, well, you live true and you stay true to your eternal covenants that you made in a temple, Nelson, to your Denzel, and you're an old man anyways. Shoot. And you stay true to those. And gosh darn it, it's like I've known guys who say, "Hey, listen, when we go out of town, when we go to or across borders, across the state borders, across the country borders, and we're in another time zone, well, our marriage covenants, they're not even married in a temple, but well, if we go to war and we're away from our wife for a period of time or a period of distance, we can get freaky deaky. We can we can have relations with other women, but that's not right, is it? And our church knows that. And any marriage should, if you're married as a Christian, married in the faith, you know that's not right. And well, it doesn't matter with the period of time you're away for war or on business or for anything. You don't cheat on your spouse who made a marriage covenant to in this life or in a till death you part or eternal covenant. You don't. And well, that goes true when you make eternal covenants. You don't remarry after you made a covenant, an eternal covenant to a daughter of God or son of God for you women. So my grandmother did it for 35 years, and another grandmother did it for a few more years. And gosh darn it, guys, girls, you, especially in eternal covenants, you keep those. Because you know what? It's a matter of time and distance. And, well, gosh darn it. The matter of, time is, well, who knows when God is going to take you. And your life, well, it comes to an end with coronavirus or a car accident or whether it's decades and it just comes from old age. You want to be able to, well, enter heaven and enter, well, the next life, knowing you've maintained your covenants, your faithfulness. Just like if you went on a business trip, if you went on a business trip, or you went to war, and you're married and you leave your spouse. And, hey, I've lived off military bases. I've seen what goes on with these guys and girls who go to war and their spouses are left behind. What happens? What happens when they do? And you want to be able to return honorably. You want to be able to return honorably to your spouse. And well, when you come back from your business trip, oh, it's a week-long business trip. It's a month-long business trip. I had to go on a mission for 2 years, and I stayed faithful. Well, you want to return with honor, and well, that's well, gosh darn it, that's the life of this world with physical boundaries, with physical and with distance boundaries and time boundaries. But gosh darn it, you guys! Right? If you're really practicing eternal covenants and eternal principles, well, guess what? The barrier between, well, our loved ones who have passed and us who are living here now in the present is very, very little, very little, very, very little. well, distance, you'll be surprised, and also in time. It's so small compared to eternity, guys. And well, Nelson did not fulfill keep his covenant, and he made blue shirts, and he cut down our church times. And what else did that piece of garbage do? Oh, he had a talk. He said the number one. He told the guys the number one person you should place in your life is your wives. Well, yeah, that's number two. God is the number one. Nelson has done so many things that he should not have done. And well, whatever, you guys keep calling him a prophet. He's clearly not the. He clearly shooting. Hey, it is what it is. The record speaks for itself. Putting doggy masks on, shutting down temples and churches. Yeah, that guy. And telling people to go to therapy. Hey, I'll go to therapy and promoting psychology, promoting pharmaceuticals. Shoot, that piece of garbage, Nelson. He is such. You guys don't even know. Whatever, you get too smart. He's a doctor, after all. You get too smart and shoot. That guy. Whatever. Keep him at the head of my church. I don't want the bureaucracy, anyways. Shoot. So, anyways, man, gosh darn it. So he's going to tell you something else. So the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, before you guys stole my handshake, by the way, and he talked about that last time, so he needs to talk about that again. So, anyways, the handshake thing is well, whatever, a real thing. I came up with it, and gosh darn it, if my church wasn't doing it, and you're not supposed to be doing that, by the way, church, because that's what gangs do. That's what gangs and secret societies do. Is they say, hey, listen, we're going to be the blue gang, we're going to be the red gang, we're going to be the gang with this handshake, and gosh darn this side, we've got to recognize who's a part of our gang, who's a part of our organization, by the colors they wear, by the ways they shake our hand, by the secret names we give them. And gangs and mafia do that too, you dum-dums. They give secret names to they really do. What do you mean they do? They really? Of course they do. They really give secret names to street gangs, to mafias, to even to the FBI, CIA. They have to go undercover. So, dum-dums. My church does it too. They give secret names in the temple, and guess what? It's the problem with that is, it's symbolic. It's a shoot. It's a how do you say that? It's in a well, shoot. It's not supposed to be. Yes, this is what they do. So if I'm in a gang, if I'm in a street gang, or if I'm in a mafia, when somebody comes up to me, they know my street gang name, and they can do the secret super duper fist bump handshake, whatever, and they know the secret code words. Well, guess what? When they tell me to take a guy out, or they tell me to jump, I say how high. And the same thing with the church. The church does this too. When somebody comes up to you and they know your church name, the church name they gave you, and they do the secret handshake, my handshake with the little finger thing. That's really my handshake, guys. I came up with that in 2013 in the federal penitentiary. And well, whatever. You guys, I don't know when you guys incorporated that, but whatever. You're not supposed to be doing that anyways. And gosh darn it. So here's the problem. Organizations of the world do that because, well, they need to know who's a part of their club, who's a part of the organization, and who they can trust. And well, gosh darn it, they don't rely on the Spirit. They don't rely on the Holy Ghost. They have adopted the ways of the world, and they need to. Well, they're trying to build their kingdoms and their organizations up in the ways of the world. And well, when you do that, you gotta know who's on your team, who's on your side, who's wearing red, who's wearing blue, who's who has a secret handshake, who knows your secret name. And well, that's a way of the world, but not the way of God. Not the way of God, guys. That's what Jesus did. He gave you the Spirit, and well, when you're in the Spirit and you're living righteously and you're doing things the godly way, guess what? You don't need secret names to know who's on your side. You don't need secret handshakes to know who's on your side. You don't need to know when somebody says, hey, invest in this, or go here because I know your secret name, or I have a secret handshake. No, you can rely on the Spirit. You can pray about it, and you can receive well revelation, and you can receive a confirmation from the Holy Ghost, from the Spirit. And gosh darn it, well, if my church only got so far away from that and adopted the ways of the world with their secret names. Hey, by the way, I got a name. Yeah, tell. Okay, so you guys, the church is doing things in the temple that's symbolic of well, really what's happening. How do I say this? Well, with God, and with the kingdom of heaven. The real kingdom of heaven, the eternal kingdom of heaven. I mean, the real beings, the real angels. Yes, the real beings, the real angels. And well, these things that some things that they do in the temple are in a similitude. They kind of mirror what's happening with the kingdom of heaven when it's done right. And well, the name thing is well, it's a name. It's actually a real thing. That well, the Mormons have a list of prescribed names. They have a very set list of names, and you get one of those names, and that's your name. And whatever, if somebody approaches you with that name, oh, they know your name. You must obey and you must follow, and they know your name, so they're part of your club. But here's the thing: God and the kingdom of God in heaven. Well, He also has names, and well, He has a way of giving you a name and sharing your name with you. That well, that's not by men. And well, when you're given a name, like Rumpelstiltskin, Rumpelstiltskin, I got powers, I got da 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 da, Rumpelstiltskin, and you don't share your name with anybody. That name is delivered to you in a very sacred and special way, and nobody knows it. And so that way, when somebody approaches you, and well, with the name that you've been given in a super sacred, special, spiritual, with the Spirit of the Holy Ghost way, after a much trial of your faith, because believe me, you're before you're given a name, your faith is tested and your character is tested, and then God and well, God will share your name, give you a name, and when you have that name, you don't share with nobody ever, because well, because this world can use it against you. Like, hey, I got a name. I got a name. Here's my name. And guess what? And some idiot can come and say, hey, I know your name. And so once you've had a test of your faith and a trial of faith, and you've been given a name by God, um, never share that because you don't want others outside of the kingdom of heaven and God exercising dominion over you, unrighteous dominion. So, and well, whatever, the church has set this up. And well, it's a similitude. It's kind of a thing that really happens in heaven and angels. And gosh darn it. And Nelson, you got this so really, really. How did my church? Oh, whatever. Hey,
Oh, Christians, we're no longer Mormons. We're no longer Mormons.
hey, whatever. Shoot. All right. Anyways, so yeah, that's a real thing. My handshake, which you're not supposed to do it anyway. Whatever. Oh, by the way, and my handshake that's your super secret Melchizedek priesthood, the highest order of my church, of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. My handshake that's supposed to identify who's a super righteous Melchizedek priesthood holder. Guess who I've been sharing that with? In the feds. I've been sharing it with murderers and drug dealers and pimps and child molesters and rapists. And so, guess what, dum dums? You better not rely on that stupid handshake to give you a sense of who's right and who's wrong. Because I've been sharing that handshake, my handshake, with the well, some of the most you know, people who have done a lot of sin, a lot of garbage, and you never know unless you're in tune with the Spirit. Unless you're really in tune with the Spirit, and you shouldn't rely on a handshake if you're in tune with the Spirit. You don't need a handshake. You don't need a secret name if you're right with God and you're in tune with the Spirit. Shoot, man. How did my church get so friggin' far? So, anyways, yeah, that's where we're at. And boys are blue and girls are pink, gender reveal parties. All that's about programming, guys. God does not. Here's a hint. God does not want man creating men in their own image. And well, that was the devil's plan. The devil's plan. Here's another thing. So when you go to prison, you go to jail. Tell them this too. You got time. Take all the time you need. So when you go to a jail or prison, well, you're going to have it's a scary place. There's violence. There's drugs. It's a very tough place to be in. And well, there's a you can subscribe and align yourself and join a gang. You can join the white gang. You join. Hey, if you're white, you can join a black gang, right? Or a Hispanic gang. Heck, man. If it's you know whatever, it's a little tougher if you join a gang outside of your melanin level, your pigment level, but whatever, your race. You know, you're all human races. But so you can join a gang, and when you join that gang, well they're going to help you. They're going to help you. They're going to provide a little bit for you, and they're going to say, hey, listen, we're going to protect you. We're going to give you direction on well where to go, where not to go, how to act, how to make your bed, when to shower, where to work, and who to fight, who to beat up, and you're gonna make a payment for me. You're gonna serve us, and in order in return for serving us, in order for for beating up people for us, or for paying taxes for us, or for being a lookout for us. Well, we'll give you protection. We'll give you a sense of security in this very very scary jail and prisons. And uh, most people do that. Actually, almost 99.9999999% people come to prisons and jails, they subscribe to one gang or organization or another to receive protection, and in doing so, they have to follow the directions and the orders and the guidelines and the rules and the laws and the workouts and everything else that they have to receive that protection in a very scary place. And and they get that protection. They get that protection so that when they mess up, when they squelch on a gambling debt, when they say something or give some offense to somebody else, and they need protection because they did something or said something they shouldn't have done, or when they steal, or I don't know, there's a whole bunch of garbage that goes on. But they get that protection from that organization that they've subscribed to, that they've aligned themselves with, that that they've enslaved themselves to. Enslaved. That's exactly what that is. And so they gosh darn it. But hey, man, if you're gonna make a mistake, and you're gonna sin, you're gonna offend in prison or jail, and you know that the consequence is potential violence and beatdowns and against you, death, murder. I mean, hey, they can kill you, or rape, or theft. They can steal your stuff and create psychological torture on you. Well, yeah, okay, I can understand why you might want to subscribe to that. But here's the thing: that's the plan of the devil. Satan, that was Satan's plan. Satan said, "Listen, I will go down and hell said 1/3 of the host of heaven said, hey, we got to go to this earth, we got to go to this world, we got to leave our kingdom of heaven, we got to leave the protection of our daddy, our heavenly Father, and enter a world, and it's going to be a scary world." And the devil said, well, guess what? I'll protect them. I'll teach them when to make their beds. I'll teach them. I'll keep them fit. I'll teach them what to eat. I'll teach them how to work and where to work. And in return, I want the credit. I want the credit for protecting them, for looking out for them, for everything. And that's that's what these gangs and organizations do. It's not just the gangs and organizations and prisons and jails. You have fraternal organizations that come up through colleges, now Masons and Illuminatis and whatever else garbage is out there. And there's a lot of garbage, religions too. And you're all doing it, and you're not supposed to be. But shoot, man, gosh darn it. And that's what the devil's plan was. That's what Satan's plan was.
the son of the morning star. He said, I'm so good, I can watch over them, I can protect them, I can keep them. And he said, hey, angels, hey, my brothers and sisters, and my little sons and daughters of God, our eternal Father, if you follow me, well, I'll protect you. I'll look after you. And this world's going to be a scary place. And well, gosh darn it, Jesus said, no, 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 no. I won't force you to do anything. I won't make you do burpees at whatever time in the day, or I won't make you do this or that. I'll just lead by example. I'll lead by example, and well, you can either follow my example or not. And well, God, our eternal Father in heaven, said, you know, and Jesus said, all glory be to God, because I go to God, I go to my eternal Father in heaven, and I'm trying to direct you guys to our eternal Father in heaven. And well, you may not all make it back. You may, some of you may experience some troubles and some tough times in prison and jail and on this planet. But I'll be an example, and I'll try to show you how how it's worked for me. And well, when you get knocked down, you get back up again. But you just put your faith in God. You don't let anybody come between you and God. And you always give credit to God in all things at all times. And well, God chose Jesus' plan. And gosh darn it, man, the whole host of heaven, the whole host of our brothers and sisters, and angels, spirit intelligences said, hey, man, gosh darn it, man, the world is a scary place, and we're not going to have God, our Father, always to shoot. They said we need some protection. We need some protection, and they chose the devil's plan. 1/3 of the host of the heaven chose to align themselves with Mexican mafias, with Aryan Brotherhoods, with Black Lives Matter, with critical race theory, all that garbage. Because hey, it gives them a leg up. It gives them protection. It gives them prosperity. It gives them well, yeah, you know, they can they know if they do some dirt, they may be able to you know, not have to face the consequences for this life. So, anyways, that was the devil's plan, and that was well, Jesus' plan. So when I've been to jail, you can ask anybody at any jail or prison I've been into. I have not affiliated and associated myself with any organization, any gang or race, human race, melon level group, and I've it hasn't always been easy. It's been very challenging, and sometimes it's been lonely. But other times it's been very welcoming because I've been able to break bread. I haven't divided myself and separated myself from other people. And whenever we've had newbies who have come to the into the jails or prisons, and they haven't been affiliated with these organizations, the gangs on the outside, I've done my best to try to warn them and tell them, hey, listen, don't join them up here. And don't, even though you may think you need the protection, even though you may need the comfort, even though you may appreciate the benefits that they can give you with, I don't know, with the extra commissary and cool jobs that they can give you in prisons and jails, you don't want to align yourself with them because there's a price to pay that you may not be willing or want to pay when the piper comes calling. And I can't say there's been many who haven't ignored, well, have they've ignored my exercise and still join the gangs, still join those organizations. So, anyways, yeah, that was the devil's plan. That was Jesus' plan. And gosh darn it, this world, if not only prison is just it's a microcosm of what's happening in the real world. You better believe that there's between the fraternal organizations and the different societies, secret societies and religions and political affiliations, that you're all doing the same thing. And heck, it's a dog-eat-dog world, they say. And if you don't join a pack and follow a leader, well, at Catholic Church, you're doing it too. Right? You're doing it too. You're not supposed to be doing it. Right? That's what they did. Shoot, don't know. But so, anyways, my church is down south, right over there. You should have known better. And, should have known better. Our nation was founded on men who knew better. Shoot, what happened to them? Happened to their descendants. Shoot. So, anyways, yeah, that's it. The colors thing, might knock that off. The names, the handshakes, knock it off. That's what you have to do when you no longer have the Spirit. When you no longer have the Spirit, and well, when you can't rely on the Spirit to show you who's good, who's bad, whether they're a member of your faith, or whether they're light skinned or dark skinned, or whether they're rich or whether they're poor, whether they're a cop or whether they're homeless. If you don't have the Spirit to give you guidance and directions, and you got to rely on well, colors and handshakes and secret words and secret names, well, you're a society, people destined for, well, for judgment, for for what's come of what's become of many other nations who have done the same. So, gosh darn it,
Oh man, he just did all that.
yeah, Nielsen, gosh darn it, you did oh gosh darn it, Nielsen,
Oh, sustain him, sustain him.
sustain God. Nelson, you've done so much garbage you're not supposed to be doing. But then again, you're a doctor. You're so much smarter than me. Okay, anyways, I think that's about it. I covered that. Oh, but Joseph Smith. Guys, so Joseph Smith was a prophet of God. Yes, he was. I got to get this out there. Joseph Smith was a prophet of God, but guess what? David sinned against God, and many great men, even Gideon. Hey, I love Gideon. And many prophets, many who are called by God, gave offensive sin against God. Polygamy is a sin, dum-dums. Polygamy is a sin. And Joseph Smith, hey, he practiced polygamy. Polygamy is a sin. And shoot, man. And Joseph sinned against God. That was wrong. Dum-dums. And he sold it. He spread that sin. He said, "Hey, an angel came to me with a sword and said, if I don't practice polygamy, I will, well, I'll be killed." What kind of a prophet cares about that? I mean, hey, good. If you know it's wrong, hey, our Bible, our Book of Mormon, our Bible, it's real, No Testament, Old Testament, Book of Mormon, says in Jacob, hey, the sensitive women, the Nephites, were given offense. Anyways, shoot, man. The Lamanites, the Gentiles, those who weren't Christians, those who weren't of the faith, were more caring and concerned about and righteous in their covenants and their treatment of the daughters of God, their treatment of their wives, than even the self-righteous Nephites. And God was not happy about that. And gosh darn it. And they didn't practice polygamy. They were faithful. And even our Book of Mormon, Joseph translated, says don't practice polygamy. It even says David was not supposed to practice polygamy. And yet Joseph says, "Hey, an angel says I'm supposed to do it." Well, guess what? Dum-dum. That's the devil's plan. Jesus does not use force. He does not use threat of violence. And that Joseph, that prophet, should have known better. He should have known better. He translated it, and he even translated the Pearl of Great Price that talks about that. And well, there he's a man. He's a man, and like the kings and the prophets of the New Testament, New Testament, Old Testament, men are men. So, anyways, don't practice polygamy, dum-dums, and maintain your eternal covenants. And anyways, gosh darn it. So yeah, Joseph Smith was a prophet, but and everything he did and said was true. It's founded in faith, but he was not right in all that he did.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's it. Gosh darn it. Is there anything else I need to talk about? Probably not. Shoot, this video's way too long. So, secret names, stop that, whatever. Parents are small to it. So, hey, if you're dealing with fake name, their name. Make sure you tell them that it's a similitude of the name right after a trial of faith that they'll receive from a real God and real angels on earth. Will it's a similitude that you don't need a temple. You don't need a temple to be. Gosh, 30. How much? 30, 33, 30, whatever. 30 minutes. That's way too long. All right, so I think I've covered everything. All right, well, I'm gonna check out. I got my pattern here. I got 1, 2, 3, 3 supported by the 10, the 9, and the 10. But 9, see, I did 13.
Oh, I did a pattern.
Adios, muchachos. Let's do silly videos. I was gonna watch this anyways.